How's Joe's leg feeling?
He hasn't said anything to me about it, so I talked to him after the game. Again, we'll see where he's at on Wednesday and Thursday.
How did Orlando come out of the game?
He was struggling at the end, so again, we'll let some time pass. The bonus day this week should help us with a couple guys. He was fighting through it. He's a guy that he wants to play. He's been trying to play. Try to protect him from himself as best we can. You could see there at the end of the game, he was really struggling with it, so I appreciate his effort, and we'll just see where he's at as the week goes.
Was that a tough decision, or were there conversations with him at that point, like, man, I don't know?
It's a tough point in the game. It's a tough point in the game, to start making all those changes, and so you just count on him to keep fighting through it.
How's Logan coming through the weekend?
We'll see. We'll see. Really sore, and we'll just see where he's at this week.
When you went back and watched the game, what part of the defensive performance bothered you most?
We've got to tackle better. There's no question. We got to be on the same page with all the details. I think it's as simple as that. Find ways to create turnovers, get stops. Guys are accountable for it. Guys feel, like they got punched in the gut. We all feel that way. I said, all three phases, there's things that we can do better to help us win a game. It's not just on one unit. And when a season's gone the way this is, everybody's got to take accountability for that, and I feel that from this team. It's a team that's hurt. I mean, quite frankly, we all expected to win yesterday, expected to win a lot more this season. It hasn't gone our way. We got to take accountability for it, pick ourselves up, and go find a way to have a better performance this weekend.
How do you explain a team not being on the same page with
Yeah.
all the details in Week 13?
I wish I could explain it. It's something we work through. I do feel good about the preparation, but that hasn't shown up on game day as much as it needs to. And we'll keep working through it. We got guys that care. That's obviously an important part of it. Is it means something to everybody out there. It's not guys that are putting in half effort and pointing fingers at each other. It's guys that are hurt and care and take a lot of pride in their performance and the unit's performance and the team's performance. And so, again, we just got to find a way to improve.
Is there extra concern that it's been the first half recently and a lot of these games that ultimately the defense hasn't been there?
It's a concern that we're 4-8 and our whole team hasn't done enough to find more wins. I think that's the biggest issue.
When Joe, after the game, says that he's going to closely watch everyone to see who's with us and who's not with us going forward, what does that mean to you?
I think at this point it says a lot about the leadership on the team, and it's what happens. You see who can handle the adversity, who's got thick skin, who's willing to go through this. Because we've had good times here, and you got to work through the bad, and it'll help you appreciate it when things are going really good. But I do appreciate Joe saying that. That's where the leaders got to step up and hold everyone accountable, hold themselves accountable. Joe's a guy that does it the right way. And so when he says something, it means something, because guys look at him and say, okay, this guy puts in extra work. He does all the things. He plays at a high level. He's put himself in a position to do that. And so when a guy like that speaks, it carries its weight. And those are the kind of things you need from the leadership on the team, and Joe's willing to step up and say the things that need to be said.
Have you seen that kind of behind the scenes as well this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that I meet with privately, meet within groups, and so again, my belief in them hasn't wavered from a leadership perspective, certainly. And I stand in front of the team, and I'm not looking at guys that have checked out, guys that it doesn't mean something to. And sometimes when you have losing seasons, you do get that sense from people, and that's it's hard to sit here and say I'm encouraged by something when we've lost 3 games in a row. But again, when I look at these guys, I know they take a lot of pride in what we're doing, and you're going to get their best effort going forward.
Would there be any thought of making a change at safety with Geno Stone and letting Dejon or Tyson see what they can do?
We'll just keep working through every position. That's something we spend time every Monday after a game talking through who needs more snaps or where, and so that doesn't change this week.
You made a few lineup changes going in that game. How do you feel like those changes worked on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's the lineup changes on defense. Obviously, we still gave up 37 points, so we're accountable for that. So I won't get into player by player. Obviously, we've got to improve.
What about Cordell, the change with Cordell and Cody? How do you evaluate how that went?
That was an opportunity that Cody has earned, and he's He's played well stepping in at left tackle, well enough to get an opportunity to be one of the 5 linemen that walk on the field. And so, again, it was probably more about Cody than anything else. And tough matchups this week, and so, again, we get in a situation where we're throwing it a lot more than we're not afraid to throw the ball, certainly. But you get to a point in the game where it really does become that. They get a chance to spin their ears back, and it becomes tough matchups for the linemen. So they know that. They go out there and they fight their tails off and give us some opportunities to keep scoring points, and appreciate that about them.
You feel good about that configuration moving forward?
I do.
What are your discussions with Lou after a game like this?
Just finding solutions. And, again, here on December 2nd, whatever it is, there's no magic formula that's going to fix everything and change everything. So we got to get guys playing detailed, playing fast, be in a great position to make the tackles, get guys on the field to create stops.
The penalties and the penalty yards were the highest in your time here. Was
Yeah.
that a product of frustration with the way the game was going, or the kind of attention to detail you were talking about before?
They were all a little bit different. That's I wish I could just say this is all one thing. There was a couple things, certainly, that they had a lot of penalties as well. So it was, I thought it was an evenly officiated game that way. And so there's not a lot of complaint for how that occurred. We take a lot of pride in being disciplined, and so it's way more penalties than we're comfortable with. But again, that was kind of just the way the game was played on both sides.
What was your thought on Akeem's hit early in that game, and what kind of message it sent?
Bang, bang play. You watch the tape, it's a tick early. And so that's he had a good view of it. He called it. It's just one of those plays that you can go either way.
I guess what I'm really asking is, can a hit like that deliver a positive message of aggression for the defense?
There's no question. Guys feed off of that. Cam had a great one in a cover zero look, on a quick out concept where he hit the receiver. So there was certainly a tone on plays. It's just got to be more consistent, and it's got to carry over for the length of the game, the length of a half. It can't just be some one-offs, and our guys are accountable for that.
What's the biggest thing you're going to gauge over the next 5 weeks?
Well, keeping everybody in this thing, and making sure everybody's continuing to do the right things. And I haven't gotten any notion that that's not the case. I think that's Joe's message is when you're here and you're forced to focus on just one game at a time here and can't look too far down the road, you get a chance to observe people and how they handle adversity. And so, again, when you're in the position we're in, it says a lot about people, about how they handle it. And it's a great opportunity for us to be able to observe everybody and make sure everyone's built for this and can handle the adversity. And oftentimes, you all watched me sit up here for 6 years and fight through a lot of adversity. And I see what's on the other side of it. And you see the people you want to do it with. And so right now, this serves as an opportunity to evaluate the people you want to continue to do it with. And that's the opportunity that's in front of us. And we also get to go and try to win games too, and kind of get the stink off of us of losing 3 in a row and not having won a game for a month. We feel that, and it builds over time. And one win can rectify a lot of that. It doesn't cover up issues, but it does get that feeling back in you, and it starts to create some momentum. And we got to do everything in our can these next 7 days to find a way to put our best effort, our best performance this season in all 3 phases on Monday Night Football in Dallas, Texas, and find a way to get a win and continue to build off that. It's a great opportunity. I mean, what more really can you ask for? And so I think our guys will respond well to that.
How different is it? I mean, obviously, in 19 and 20, maybe we're looking forward to maybe what's to come. Y'all have now experienced it, kind of maybe now in a similar situation as you were back then. I mean, how maybe unique is it because you guys have been where y'all wanted to go and now kind of maybe progressed a little bit?
Yeah, you know what it looks like, and so you know how to get back to where we need to be, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's trust me, if it happened overnight, we would have flipped this thing weeks ago. But we're going to continue to work. We know what championship level football looks like. We know what it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and guys all being on the same page and doing it, and I'm excited to get back to that.
You were a lot about building the right culture over the last 3 years and making sure everybody had the right attitude.
Mm-hmm.
How much are you leaning on that now in more difficult?
Quite a bit.
Do you guys feel like you need to start rebuilding that again to get guys that are more guys that are about the right stuff and figure out more guys that are?
I don't look around the locker room and think that we got guys that aren't in this thing together, and so again, we got to play at a higher level. I don't think we've got the wrong people. We just got to get guys to play at a higher level in all three phases. We got to coach at a higher level. You know, I'm not going to sit here and put this on the players. You know, as a head coach, you sit there and you're 4-8. You're a 4-8 head coach, and that starts with you. And to get the most out of everybody, that's my job. And I don't take that lightly. There's a lot that comes with that. I love the responsibility. But with you, there come moments like this where you got to put it on your shoulders and find ways to motivate everyone and get the most out of everyone. And there's a lot of work that goes into that.
How much, along those lines, how much responsibility do you feel over the defense? You let Lou do his thing on that side. How much responsibility as the head coach do you feel over that defense?
A lot. You can't shy away from that. And just because most of my knowledge is on offense, and that's how I came up, is the head coach that changes. And you answer to everything. And so, again, there's obviously there's challenges when you're calling plays and you're on the offensive side of the ball, but there's no excuse for it. You got 24 hours in a day, and you got to make the most of it. And I do everything I can to spend time with Lou and have knowledge of what's happening and what the issues are over there, and doing everything I can to help them.
Has your process changed in that regard over the course of this season, and spending more time over there or anything like that?
I certainly think when things are going really well on the other side of the ball, it's easy to say, well, okay, I'm just going to continue to spend most of my time on offense. And so I think that's a natural thing. You know, anytime there's any phase that's facing a challenge, you tend to lean towards that direction. That's no different when we were really struggling on offense once upon a time, and you're trying to spin everything, trying to find a way to get a first down and get points on the board. And so, again, sometimes this I've had experience doing it in all areas, and, continue to do that.
Andre had a touchdown yesterday. How do you feel like he's developed this year? And the receivers really behind T and Jamar. How do you feel like they've kind of handled that role over the course of the season?
I think Dre is making the most of his opportunities. It's circumstantial sometimes that it's just not coming his way because we've got two of the best receivers in the NFL. And so you're spending a lot of time and effort making sure that they get the ball, and you're trying to put them in a position. Mike Gesicki is a tremendous matchup for us as well at the tight end position. So we've got an abundance of talent over there. And so you focus a lot of your energy on making sure they're 1, 2, 3 in the progression. And so, again, Dre's ready. When the ball comes his way, he's ready to make the most. Like at the end of the game, he gets that opportunity, he makes the most of it. A ton of confidence in Dre. Love his work ethic, love his passion, love how much it means to him. He wants to do it exactly how we want it done. He can play all three positions, which is critical. So you're not worried about, if you got an issue at another receiver spot, Dre can go in there and fill that role and be a primary target, be a secondary target, be a guy who catches the ball in scramble drill against the Giants for a big play. And when his number's called, he has stepped up in some big moments. I mean, the throw down the middle at the end of the half against Carolina, the scramble against the Giants, the touchdown the other day, the touchdown in Kansas City. So again, it's those guys just being patient and works hard, and so you can count on him when his number's called. He steps up and makes that play.
I know you might not be ready to talk big picture yet, but when you look at the defense like last year, you guys were across the board pretty sure that if you guys fixed the communication on the back end, it would elevate the play across the board on defense. Is it communication still? What would you say is kind of the crux of your defensive issues this year?
The simplest thing to say is it just hasn't been good enough, and that's, you can look at tackling, you can look at technique on a play, communication on a play. I think it's a little bit of everything, and it's not that we're not capable of playing better. It's not because guys don't care and guys are practicing hard and meeting and doing all the things, and so again, it just hasn't been up to our standard, and we got to find a way to get it up there. Okay, thank you.